Middle East. Benjamin Netanyahu said Donald Trump is the greatest friend Israel has ever had. I'm handing over now to Michelle Dewberry. Dewbs & Co. is up next. Michelle Dewberry, what's on your menu?
Thank you very much for that, Martin. Fascinating show, as always. As you rightly reflect on there, a huge moment for the world. I'll bring you Donald Trump's live address to that peace summit tonight. Also, I do want to try and move on to other things, if I may. China, Spygate, pressure now piling onto Keir Starmer about this one. Also, Reform UK, you'll know their policy of £20,000 as a personal allowance. Is that still on the table? Leila Cunningham, Barry Gardner and me in a minute.
Yes, it's time for your latest weather outlook from the Met Office here on GB News. Good evening to you. It's been a largely dry day. Some places started with a bit of drizzle, but the largely dry weather will continue for the next few days, as will the fairly cloudy skies, because this chunky area of high pressure is sitting right over us, and it means the weather's not really shifting too far. There's quite a lot of cloud trapped under that area of high pressure. Thick enough for some drizzle here and there to continue, particularly over the Midlands, parts of eastern England, but otherwise it's a dry night. West Wales, parts of Scotland, especially again in the west, should keep some clear skies. And where skies do stay clear for longest, well, temperatures will dip well down into single figures. And as well as that, could be some mist and fog around, forming where we've got those clear skies, at least initially, through parts of Scotland. Still the cloud thick enough for some drizzly showers over Lincolnshire, down across East Anglia and in towards Kent. As I said, further west, some breaks in the clouds, some sunny spells for West Wales. And a bit like today, much of Scotland should see some sunshine during Tuesday. Could be a bit foggy to start with, and parts of the northeast, particularly close to the coast, may stay a little grey throughout. It may take a while for the mist and fog to clear, but it should be disappearing through the morning to reveal some sunny spells through central, western Scotland. Wales and southwest England, some breaks in the cloud likely here, but it's going to stay fairly grey, I suspect, over the Midlands and much of eastern England, and still at times just a bit of drizzle falling out of that thick cloud. Temperature-wise, well, about average for the time of year, maybe only 11 or 12 across parts of Scotland, but some sunshine does make a big difference to the feel of the day. Spot the difference for Wednesday. There's not a lot of it, maybe a few more showers coming in across the Northern Isles, still a bit of a breeze across Kent and Norfolk and Suffolk with the odd little bit of drizzly rain, but most places just dry and cloudy, and that is likely to continue for the rest of the working week. If anything, just turning a shade chillier.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good evening, this is the latest AI travel news from GBNews.com. On the roads, the M8 98 southbound after Junction 1 is restricted due to a broken down vehicle. Approach with caution. Traffic congestion is reported on the A55 westbound at Junction 10 Canifan Road, with the off-slip closed until further notice. In the city of Kingston upon Hull, the A63 westbound at the junction with the A1033 North is experiencing 10-minute delays due to congestion. On the railways, there is major disruption to and from London Waterloo on South Western Railway and between Salisbury and Westbury on both South Western and Great Western Railways. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's just 3 weeks left to see how you could be our biggest winner this year. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB16 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 31st of October. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around, a nation that no longer knows what it is or where it...
You guys need
much of it paid for by people in this room. Civilians are returning to their homes. The hostages are reuniting. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm just watching it backstage. The level of love and sorrow, I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing when you see they haven't seen their mother, their father. They haven't seen them in such a long time, and they lived in a tunnel, a very little tunnel, very deep. And the level of love is just incredible. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's, in one sense, it's so horrible that it could have taken place, but in another sense, it's so beautiful to see a new and beautiful day is rising, and now the rebuilding begins. The rebuilding is maybe going to be the easiest part. I think we've done a lot of the hardest part, because the rest comes together. We all know how to rebuild, and we know how to build better than anybody in the world. I want to express my tremendous gratitude to the Arab and Muslim nations who helped make this incredible breakthrough possible. And you really did. To President El-Sisi of Egypt, who is so generously hosting us today. And I want to thank you for the outstanding job your country is doing in so many different ways, and for helping us so much with this peace agreement. I also want to thank the President for the escort of 6 fighter jets. So we looked out the window, we said, I hope they're friendly, and they turned out to be very friendly. But we had 3 on each side, and they are beauties right out of the great, really American manufacturing hub. We make the greatest military equipment in the world. We have the strongest military in the world by far. And I knew exactly what those planes were, and I knew exactly how much you paid for those planes, too. You paid a lot, but you got a pretty good deal, and they are great planes, and we just appreciate it. That was quite an escort in. That was very impressive. But Air Force One was really, it was covered with Egyptian desert just a few months ago. If you think about it, just a few months ago it was Egyptian desert, and now it was just a few feet off our window. And it was a spectacular sight, and I appreciate it very much. Really, that was pretty good. You got our people by surprise. I don't know if they were thrilled right at the beginning, but they were thrilled as we sailed along very, very calmly and safely. And I'm deeply honored to receive from you, Egypt's highest state honor, the Order of the Nile. The Nile is so beautiful, so magnificent. It's such a beautiful title, the Order of the Nile. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Appreciate it. Great honor. I also want to give a very special thanks to the Emir of Qatar, a man who's outstanding. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, long before politics, and he's a fantastically respected man. His Highness Sheikh Tamim is respected by everybody. He's respected by everybody, and in the most positive way, not only because of power, because of his heart. He's got a tremendous heart, and he's a great leader, and his country loves him. Thank you very much for being here. It's an honor. Let me also express our condolences to the Qataris on the tragic car crash that claimed the lives of your cherished diplomats, some of whom were known by our people, and they were supposed to be incredible people. So please extend our sorrow and best wishes. That was tough. That was really tough. On this extraordinary occasion, I also want to give our sincere thanks to President Erdogan of Turkey. He's always there when I need him. He's such a tough guy. He is tough as you can be, but we love him. And when they have a problem with you, they always call me to handle it. And usually I come through. We just have a good relationship, and we have from the beginning. And so I want to thank you very much and say hello to your wife, your beautiful wife, and it's great to be with you. Always there. When I need him, he's always there. Thank you very much, Mr. President. And I also want to thank, I just spoke to him on the phone, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Mohammed, Saudi Arabia, a special friend of mine. Boy, he's come so long and so far, and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. And I want to just thank him. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed of the United Arab Emirates is here. Where? He's here someplace. Well, oh, he's not here. But he's here in spirit, I can tell you that. And he's been another one. He's been absolutely incredible, and we appreciate it very much. Boy, he's come so long and so far, and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. And I want to just thank him. And His Highness Sheikh Mohammed of the United Arab Emirates is here. Where? He's here someplace. Well, oh, he's not here, but he's here in spirit, I can tell you that. And he's been another one. He's been absolutely incredible, and we appreciate it very much. And His Majesty King Abdullah of Jordan, and thank you very much, King Abdullah of Jordan. He's here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And you really have been a great helper. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. Prime Minister Sharif of Pakistan, and also I have to say my favorite field marshal from Pakistan, who's not here, but the Prime Minister is here, and you're going to give his regards. Where are you? There you go. Thank you very much. Do you want to say what you said to me the other day? Come, would you like to say what you said the other day? I think it was so nice. Please.
Thank you very much, my dear President Trump, my dear brother President Fadil Sisi of Egypt, Majesties, Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening. Well, I would say today is one of the greatest days in contemporary history, because peace has been achieved after untiring efforts led by President Trump, who is genuinely a man of peace, who has relentlessly and untiringly worked throughout these months, day in and day out, to make this world a place to live with peace and prosperity. I would say that Pakistan had nominated President Donald Trump for Nobel Peace Prize for his outstanding, extraordinary contributions to first stop war between India and Pakistan, and then achieve ceasefire along with his very wonderful team. And today, again, I would like to nominate this great president for Nobel Peace Prize, because I genuinely feel that he is the most genuine and most wonderful candidate for Peace Prize, because he has brought not only peace in South Asia, saved millions of people, their lives. And today, here in Sharm el-Sheikh, achieving peace in Gaza is saving millions of lives in the Middle East. Mr. President, I would like to salute you for your exemplary leadership, visionary leadership. And I think that you're the man this world needed most at this point in time. World would always remember you as a man who did everything, went out of the way to stop 7 and today 8 wars. I would like to thank my very dear brother, Sheikh Tamim. He's Akh al-Shaqiq, who has really worked very hard along with others to achieve peace in this region. My very dear brother, President Tayyip Erdogan, His Majesty, King Abdullah, and of course, my very dear brother, Mohammed bin Zayed of UAE, and of course, my very dear brother, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. And he has also been very, very helpful and contributed very valuably in this wonderful peace process. Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't want to take more of your time. Suffice it to say, had it not been for this gentleman, not only, who knows, India and Pakistan are both nuclear powers. Had he not intervened along with his wonderful team, during those 4 days, the war could have escalated to a level. Who would have lived to tell what happened? And similarly, here in this part of the world, in the Middle East, Mr. President, your valuable contribution along with President Sisi, I think history will remember in golden words. I wouldn't say more, except God bless you, God give you long life to serve like this for all time to come. Thank you very much.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you very much.
Very kind.
Thank you. Wow, I didn't expect that. Let's go home. There's nothing more I have to say. Goodbye, everybody. That was really beautiful and beautifully delivered. Wow, thank you very much. Also with us is President Prabowo, a very incredible man of Indonesia. President, come on. Great job. President Abbas of the Palestinian Authority. See, we have them all. We have them all. Good, great. Good to have you. And so many others. I really have a list here. This first 3 rows and what's standing behind me, I don't know why they chose to stand, but that's there. They're going to be very famous tomorrow, all of them. We have the Arab League is represented by His Excellency, and thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much. We have Armenia, and Azerbaijan. That's a little war that we stopped. That's a little war. There they are. Look at them. They're sitting. When I met with them, it was in the Oval Office. They fought for like 31 years or some crazy number. And they had one sitting on that side of the Oval Office, one sitting. By the time we finished in 1 hour, they were both hugging each other. And now they're friends and they're getting along great. Look at it. So I want to thank you both. That's incredible. Really incredible. So you have Armenia and you have Bahrain, you have Canada. It's so great to have, in fact, the president called and he wanted to know if it's worthwhile. He knew exactly what it was. He knew the importance. Where's Canada, by the way? Where are you? Where are you? He knew the importance of this. He said, I want to be there. So many people have done that. They called. I mean, they heard about it. And these are not people that can do that very easily. They have pretty big schedules, to put it in mind. The most powerful people. And I appreciate you being here very much, Mr. President. Fantastic. Fantastic. And Cyprus, Egypt, the European Union, it's a lot of countries. France, thank you very much, Emmanuel. I would imagine Emmanuel standing someplace behind me. Where is he? I can't believe it. You're taking a low-key approach today. He's my friend. That's great. Good job. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Germany, the new Chancellor of Germany is He's easy to spot because he's very tall, and he's very smart, and he's doing a fantastic job for his country. Appreciate it very much. And congratulations, a big election. That was a big one. That was going to change things. Greece, we have Greece. We have Hungary. Oh, Victor, where is Victor? Victor. We love Victor. Victor, I call him. You know, I put the little accent on it. You are fantastic, all right? I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I'm the only one that matters. You are fantastic. He's a great leader. I endorsed him the last election he had, and he won by 28 points. So you're going to do even better this time. You have another election, and you're going to do great, and we appreciate it. And we're behind you 100%. That's Hungary. India is a great country with a very good friend of mine at the top, and he's just done a fantastic job. And I think that Pakistan and India are going to live very nicely together, right? That's not a very, they are. And they're two great, I tell you, leaders, great leaders as far as I'm concerned. Indonesia, we covered, and I just want to say that that's a big country, a powerful country. It does unbelievably well, and it's great to have you. Iraq, we have Iraq with lots of oil. They have so much oil, they don't know what to do with it. That's a big problem when you have so much, you have no idea what to do with it. So thank you very much thank you very much. Italy, we have a young woman who's, I'm not allowed to say it because usually it's the end of your political career if you say it. She's a beautiful young woman. Now, if you use the word beautiful in the United States about a woman, that's the end of your political career, but I'll take my chances. Where is she? There she is. You don't mind being called beautiful, right? Because you are. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it. She wanted to be here, and she's incredible, and they really respect her in Italy. She's a very successful politician. We have Norway. Oh, Norway. Norway. What happened, Norway? What happened? Where's Norway? Where is he? We have Johnny. We're going to the World Cup, I can tell you that. Where's Norway? I don't think he wants to stand. Oh, he's back there. Well, we have Norway. Oman, again. We have Paraguay. We have really fantastic representative from Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what, and this time we'll get you the best seat. He always gets the best seat. He deserves the best seat. But what a great place it is. Spain. Where's Spain? Are you guys working on him with respect to the GDP? We'll get close. We'll get close. But fantastic job you're doing. And UAE, which is great. United Kingdom. Where's United Kingdom? Where's our friend? Where? Come here. Is everything going good?
Very good.
It's very nice that you're here. These people all came in like 20-minute notice, and I think it's fantastic. And we have so many others, and just so many others. And it's such a compliment to what we're doing, because what we've done is something very unique and very special. So it's perhaps the wealthiest and most powerful group of nations ever assembled at one time, which is a big thing. We have achieved together in recent days a change that really is historic, and it's going to be remembered forever. And I want to thank the American team for their amazing work, and I want to thank, I think he'll go down as the greatest Secretary of State in the history of our country. I really believe that, Marco, or I wouldn't say it. Marco Rubio, I wouldn't say it. Maybe I would. You're doing a great job. I'll tell you, he's on course to do it. We've done a lot of work in 9 months. We've done a lot of work. I say that, 1 year ago, a little more, but 1 year ago, America, the United States of America was it was a dead country. The king told me, and I use that, he said, sir, 1 year ago it was a dead country. Today you have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and it is. It's the hottest country. So many investors are here. We have over $17 trillion being invested in the United States, which is a record that nobody has ever beaten. I don't think anybody will. And we still have 4 months to go before it's a year. So in 8 months, we have over 17 trillion. We're actually very close to $18 trillion. There's never been, as an example, the previous administration had less than $1 trillion over 4 years. We have, we're close to breaking $18 trillion in 8 months. That's pretty amazing. No country's ever done that. I want to also thank Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and my son-in-law and a great guy, Jared Kushner. And I even have my daughter here, Ivanka. Ivanka, please stand up. Ivanka's here. Wow. Thank you, Ivanka. We have a great team, and we have, as you know, General Raisin Kane, we have John Radcliffe, we have Tom Barrack, we have really a lot of good talent. We have Pete Hegseth, who's now Department of War as opposed to Department of Defense. We made a little change. Somehow I like the name better, so do you, so do a lot of people. But the momentous breakthrough that we're here to celebrate tonight is more than the end of the war in Gaza. It's with God's help, it'll be the new beginning for an entire beautiful Middle East. From this moment forward, we can build a region that's strong and stable and prosperous and united in rejecting the path of terror once and for all. We want to get rid of the terror and get on to other things. There are many other things in life that are so good. The final sprint to this deal began less than 3 weeks ago on the sidelines of the United Nations in New York. I met with many of the people in this room, and it all just started coming together. I've known so many of you for so long. You're friends of mine. You're great people. I have a couple I don't like in particular, but I won't tell you who. I have actually a few of them I don't like at all, but you'll never find out who they are. Well, maybe you will, come to think of it. But I have most of you who I like a lot, and I respect a lot. Maybe that's more important. We listened, and we exchanged ideas, and we kept pushing forward until the job was done, and the first steps to peace are always the hardest. And today we've taken them and we've put them all together, and we've come up with this beautiful mix like nobody thought was possible. And as you know, I've just come from Israel. It was an amazing day to watch the hostages come in and to watch all of the other things and do all of the other things that we did. And like all of us here this evening, the Israeli people are overjoyed that the war has ended. Many of you have had dancing in the streets. They had dancing in the streets. And they've been dancing for weeks now once they heard about this and they heard that it was even a possibility. They're elated at the arrival of the hostages and excited to begin this new chapter for the entire region, and it's going to be that, and they are going to be great partners, and I hope everybody's going to join the Abraham Accord. I like to say the Avraham. I love Avraham, but somehow it doesn't sound as good when I say it as it does when some of my other friends say it who are from the region. But we're going to get a lot of people joining the Abraham Accords. We have the 4 great nations that did it early on, and they stayed with it. And then you had the Biden administration, which is the worst administration in the history of our country, and obviously they did nothing on that and anything else. And so it stayed at 4, and now a lot of people, even today, they're talking about all joining up. So many people have talked to me about that, and it's going to be a great tribute to really the United States. I mean, the United States has worked very hard in the Middle East, so it would be a tribute to us and to Jared and to Steve and to all of the people, Marco, all of the people that have worked so hard on that. And it really is going to bring, it's going to guarantee that it all stays together. You're going to do well, because the 4 nations do very well. I mean, they do extremely, as they're wealthy, but they're a lot wealthier because of it. So I hope everybody's now joining up. Now we have no excuses. We don't have a Gaza, and we don't have an Iran as an excuse. That was a good excuse, but we don't have that anymore. All the momentum now is toward a great, glorious, and lasting peace. And our commitment to fulfilling the 20-point plan we developed together will be the crucial foundation for achieving that bright future. And it's being worked on right now as we speak. And we're actually in stage 3 and 4. It's not going to be, just divided down so simply. We can be long advanced on some of the things that we say we're going to do. We can take them out of order in a positive way, and we've shown how it can be done with responsible nations like the people in this room, these incredible people in this room, setting aside their differences, seeking common ground, and pursuing a better world for all of us. In that spirit, it's my dream that we all get together and enjoy our life. And we're going to put some of you on the Board of Peace. Everybody wants to be on the Board of Peace. They said, would you be the chairman? I say, I'm pretty busy too. But whatever we can do to have peace in the Middle East, it's worth it. But everybody wants to go on the Board of Peace, so we're probably going to enlarge it. We're going to get, and the leaders, the top people, the top leaders, they want to be on the Board of Peace. A beautiful term. At first I wasn't sure, and then I realized how beautiful it is. And for the people of Gaza, the focus now must be on restoring the basics of a good life. We're going to have a lot of money coming into Gaza and a lot of rebuilding and building. It's not so much rebuilding, it's really building, cleaning up and building. And I'm pleased to announce that numerous countries of great wealth and power and dignity have come forward to me, and just today and over the last week, to say they want to help in the reconstruction of Gaza, putting up whatever money is necessary. And the money is, of course, it's a lot of money, but it's not much compared to the value or the wealth of these tremendous countries. And they are ensuring stability and success in the Middle East. So when you think about it, it's a very, very small amount of money is necessary, relatively speaking. And as those commitments are made, I'm going to let the world know who is doing it, because they really deserve great credit for doing it, and they're going to do something that's really monumental. This is a monumental day. This is a monumental moment in the history of the world beyond the Middle East. We've all agreed that supporting Gaza must be done to lift up the people themselves, but we don't want to fund anything having to do with the bloodshed, hatred, or terror, as has happened in the past. And for the same reason, we're also agreed that Gaza's reconstruction requires that it be demilitarized and that a new, honest civilian police force must be allowed to create a safe condition for the people in Gaza. As I said earlier, I intend to be a partner in securing a better future. We're going to be working, you're going to be working with the United States, and we're going to make sure that the Middle East is going to be a safe and secure place. It's a very important place in the world, means so much. There were so many people who said the Middle East, and this has been going for many, many decades. I've read it many times, that World War III will begin in the Middle East. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. There was a time that you would have thought it could have, but it's not going to happen. There won't be World War III, hopefully at all. But it's not going to start in the Middle East. We're not going to have a World War III if we're smart. There'll never be a World War III. Our work begins right here and right now. From ancient times, this region has been extraordinarily mixed with respect to people, culture, religions, all of the different elements of national characters, unlike maybe anywhere else on Earth. And for 3,000 years, there's been conflict. For whatever reason, there's been tremendous conflict, always conflict. But today, for the first time anyone can remember, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us. And that's why so many people in this room, they didn't get along. Some did, some didn't, but they're getting along now. This has brought the people together. This is the first time the Middle East crisis has brought people together as opposed to driving them apart. And to declare that our future will not be ruled by the fights of the generations past, which is foolish. So together, let us continue in the spirit of cooperation and goodwill that has finally brought us to this incredible, historic breakthrough. If we do together, we will reach the Middle East's incredible destiny, a safe and prosperous and beautiful crossroads of culture and commerce, faith in humanity, and geographic center. This will be the geographic center of the world. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank you all for what you've done and for this quick notice. It all came together just at one little period. It just came together. It's, the greatest deals happen that way. If you do anything about deals, that's all I've done all my life is deals. The greatest deals just sort of happen. And that's what happened right here. And maybe this is going to be the greatest deal of them all, not just nation building, not just having to do with this or the political whims. This will be maybe the greatest deal of them all, period. And I want to thank all of you and all of these great nations and this region for what it's gone through and all of the fights it's had, or life over death and hope over strife and harmony over hatred. That's what we want. We want it to be that way because together we're going to forge a magnificent, great, and enduring peace. I want to just end by saying God bless you all. God bless the Middle East. God bless your countries, and God bless you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, there you go. Good evening to each and every one of you. My name is Michelle Dewberry, and that, of course, was US President Donald Trump that you were listening to there. The finale, in many ways, to what has been a truly momentous occasion, a day that he himself says that people have worked for, have strived for, have prayed for, what he calls a new dawn in the Middle East. And what you were just listening to there was a conference where Donald Trump was literally addressing the world, a conference at Sharm el-Sheikh simply entitled 2025. And as you will have seen on your screens, so many of the world leaders were present then. And Donald Trump, of course, wasting no time in pretty much thanking each and every single one of them. As I say, it's been a hugely momentous day today. So without further ado, let's cross live to our political editor, Christopher Hope. Christopher, good evening to you. Bring my viewers and listeners up to speed with some of the goings-on today.
Well, it's been a day of extraordinary international diplomacy, the like of which I can't remember, ending there with President Donald Trump speaking to those world leaders. We saw, didn't we, to the right of President Trump, Sir Keir Starmer. He stepped forward at one point and sort of muttered very good when asked how it was going by President Donald Trump. And then behind, we saw Giorgia Meloni. In front of them all, a lot of Arab leaders there who'll be funding a lot of the future reconstruction of Gaza. At one point, the Pakistani Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, stepped up and said it wasn't for this man, we'd have gone to emergency level of 11 with India if he hadn't stepped in to stop India and Pakistan falling out. Two, of course, powers laden with nuclear weapons. But let's get back to the start of the day. It's been a very, very emotional day for people in Gaza and also, of course, in Israel. We've had 20 hostages handed over earlier today to Israel. A hugely historic day. 4 out of the 28 bodies have been handed over. Not all of them, as was promised by Hamas. Around 2,000 prisoners released by Israel going to Hamas. We saw Donald Trump on the screen now speaking earlier to the Knesset, which is the Israeli House of Commons. The Speaker of the Knesset said this as an indication of what was said. He said that Trump is a colossus who will be enshrined in a pantheon of history. Thousands of years from now, the Jewish people will remember you. Donald Trump said in reply, the skies are calm, the guns are silent, and the sirens are still. Still, I think some wrinkles, some concern about the lack of all of these bodies of these Israeli hostages handed over. We still are missing maybe 26 or 24. They need to be handed back, I think, for this kind of part one of this peace process to be closed off. But we just saw there this absolutely extraordinary moment of the world's leaders paying homage to Donald Trump, his critics and his fans alike saying it really is down to Donald Trump. We've got to this position of having peace in Israel. And at the end there, he's called it the greatest deal of them all. And he said this could be a safest and prosperous future of the Middle East. An absolute moment here for Donald Trump. Were he to be here with us on GB News, he would probably say, well, the highlight of his second term as president, but maybe the highlight of his life. I can't see how any deal he's done ever or any settlement he's done can match what he's been seeing in Israel today. Quite a moment there for President Donald Trump, one he'll never forget.
Yes, indeed. And of course, he was very much, Christopher Hope, enjoying the glory. He's not not backwards and coming forwards, is it, when it comes to taking that moment for himself. Look, I do want to bring it back to the UK because, of course, whilst all of this has been happening, whether it's in Israel or, of course, in Egypt, we've got our very own 3-day conference occurring. When it comes to rebuilding Gaza, we've seen promises as well for sums of money. Current is standing around £20 million committed to rebuilding Gaza. Tell us more.
That's right. So far, the UK has committed £20 million worth of aid because, of course, right now it's an aid crisis in Gaza. But going forward, what the UK will be part of is a rebuilding process of Gaza. We've seen those AI images generated by the White House, by Donald Trump, showing a kind of Gaza Riviera. That is decades away. But the idea being that Gaza can be rebuilt with lots of money from other Arab countries. I mean, literally billions of pounds will be tipped into Gaza in the hope to be rebuild. The UK has said it will try and help bring in private money to try and get the Gaza reconstructed to, frankly, probably better than it was before the bombing took place, before the attack took place of Israel. The hope is to create this place where Palestinians can live in peace with Israel next door. There's a long way to go. As I say, we haven't yet even seen all the bodies of the dead Israelis handed back yet. All these important benchmarks must be passed before we can get towards rebuilding Gaza. But the UK will be part of that. That's why we're seeing Keir Starmer there with other European leaders too. Giorgia Meloni from France, from Italy, and of course Emmanuel Macron from France. They're all trying to rebuild Gaza, having just recognised it, or certainly the UK and France, in the past few weeks as an independent state of Palestine.
And just tell us, before I let you head off into the night, Tony Blair, that is a name that's been on the lips of many people. This so-called Board of Peace we hear a lot about. Is Tony Blair going to be on it? Have we got an answer to that yet or not?
We have not got an answer from now. Look at my notes there, because earlier today, it seems like it was like last week, but earlier today, Donald Trump said he's not sure how well he liked it in the Middle East, so he's going to try and play that one by ear. Tony Blair, of course, after he was our Prime Minister and left in 2007, he did chair the quartet, which was trying to bring peace in the Middle East back in the late noughties, early 2010. So he has got experience of working in the Middle East. He did give a lot of his time to try and make it work. It didn't work out that time, so he is someone who could be seen to do that. I just think Hamas, looking at the remarks from their spokespeople, they don't want to have maybe someone who's laden or freighted with history from his involvement in the Iraq War in 2003. That could work against Tony Blair, but no question, he shook hands at that Peace 2025 summit a few hours ago with Donald Trump on camera, posed the photographs. We'll wait and see, but it could well be that Donald Trump and Tony Blair are working closely. And of course, Jonathan Powell, praised overnight by Steve Witkoff, who is Trump's spokesman out there, who's leading the way for peace both in the Middle East and in Ukraine. I should say, before I go, Michelle, the focus will very quickly go towards Ukraine. We're expecting now, and my colleague Bev Turner broke this, of course, our colleague presenting Late Night Live. We're expecting to see Zelensky possibly in the White House with Donald Trump this Friday. So it could be 2 peace deals this week. We're a long way over from that, but then it's becoming quite a habit for Donald Trump to bring peace in parts of the world.
Interesting stuff. Christopher Herb, thank you very much for that. Martha, you've just got in touch on your say, Michelle, I watched all of that, thinking to myself, I can't believe Donald Trump is 79 years old. She says, what an absolute machine he is. He does seem to have boundless energy, doesn't he? But of course, for him, emotions are running, of course, very high. Anyway, I am Michelle Dewberry. This is Dewbs & Co. Good evening to each and every single one of you. You know the drill by now. I'm joined in the studio by my panel tonight. I've got Reform UK's Layla Cunningham alongside her. I've got Labour's Barry Gardner. Good evening to both of you. And of course, each and every single one of you at home, you're very welcome tonight to join the conversation in all the usual ways. You know what they are by now. But look, I do just want to press pause, if you will indulge me, because as this day has progressed, we've had so many speeches, we've had so many kind of arguments for glory and all the rest of it. But as you've just been hearing there, for 20 families, they really have had the ultimate gift today. Of course, they have had their loved ones returned to them. And I do just want to share with you, for those that perhaps haven't seen it, some of those moments. I mean, you're going to fail to be human if you are not touched by the scenes that you just saw there. I actually find that hugely emotional, because what we're seeing on our screens, what we're listening to on our radios there, is the rawest of human emotion. Many of the, I mean, they're all men that got released today. I've got goosebumps. I'm sure many of you will have as well. You know, in many instances, they were just young men that were at a concert. They were just relaxing at their homes or wherever it was, and they were snatched in the cruelest of ways. And can you imagine if that was your partner, your son, your father, your loved one, whoever it is, to not know the condition and whether or not you'll even see your loved one again? You perhaps will have had your hopes risen so many times over the recent months. And I imagine that you just wouldn't dare believe it until you'd got your loved one literally in the room with you, in your arms. You just wouldn't believe it, would you? And of course, other families today haven't had the news that they were hoping for. You've just been hearing as well, 20 odd other people, those bodies, and I hate even using that word, but those bodies have yet to be returned to their loved ones. It's raw emotion. I find it very emotional. That's why I wanted to play some of it in full, because that is at the heart of lots of this, Barry.
It really is. Look, it's wonderful to see the hostages released. And as you say, you can see the pent-up grief of those families. 2 years of wondering, of not knowing if they would ever see their child or their husband again or their parents again. And it's just wonderful. But the job now is building a lasting peace. And you know, for all the stagecraft that we've just seen of President Trump and all the leaders standing there, I think the most significant things that they said were about demilitarized police in Gaza, and making sure that, as you were saying, the investment now goes in. If you remember back to what happened after the Second World War, the Marshall Plan, that was $13.3 billion in those days, in 1945.
Well, I want to explore some of this in a bit more detail, but your initial thoughts, Leila, from what you're seeing?
Oh, it's a huge sigh of relief, and it really brings home the human cost of the war. When you see that, it's like you said, raw emotion. But, I mean, we've got to give credit where credit's due. This deal is thanks to Trump. It didn't come under Biden. And for me, he was the only leader that really treated peace in the Middle East as a possibility. And he did it through strength, not through weakness, as others have done, like unilaterally recognizing Palestine. And he did it through deterrence, not appeasement. I mean, this, I feel, comes at the backdrop of the Abraham Accords, which broke all the orthodoxy of decades that peace in the Middle East could not be achieved. And, you know, the world has to take its hat off to Donald Trump and say thank you.
George has just got in touch on yours, says Michelle. That just made me cry. The hairs on my arms are now standing up. He just says, wow. One of my other viewers says, where were the women hostages? Well, of course, we've seen previous hostage releases, haven't we? They were the ones, of course, that were left that we saw today. I do also as well have to point out to you that the flip side of this, in order to get those hostages back, mean that many scores of Palestinian detainees, prisoners have also been released. And they too, some of these men, hundreds of these men serving life sentences, they too were released to equal emotional joy. You can make of that what you will. I am Michelle Dewberry. This is Dewbs & Co. The conversation continues after the break.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
If you're off to the central Mediterranean in the next few days, then do prepare for some heavy showers and potentially some thunderstorms, which could bring some flooding in places. Relatively fine for the next few days, though, for Canary Islands, although there will be some rain from Madeira by the middle part of the week. mostly dry across Siberia, but the Balearic Islands, Sardinia, parts of Corsica and Sicily will see some heavy showers and thunderstorms. And whilst there'll be 1 or 2 showers for the eastern Med as well, most places here dry and sunny, but an increasing chance of showers later in the week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Yes, it's time for your latest weather outlook from the Met Office here on GB News. Good evening to you. It's been a largely dry day. Some places started with a bit of drizzle, but the largely dry weather will continue for the next few days, as will the fairly cloudy skies, because this chunky area of high pressure is sitting right over us, and it means the weather's not really shifting too far. There's quite a lot of cloud trapped under that area of high pressure. Thick enough for some drizzle here and there to continue, particularly over the Midlands, parts of eastern England, but otherwise it's a dry night. West Wales, parts of Scotland, especially again in the west, should keep some clear skies. And where skies do stay clear for longest, well, temperatures will dip well down into single figures. And as well as that, could be some mist and fog around, forming where we've got those clear skies, at least initially, through parts of Scotland. Still the cloud thick enough for some drizzly showers over Lincolnshire, down across East Anglia and in towards Kent. As I said, further west, some breaks in the clouds, some sunny spells for West Wales. And a bit like today, much of Scotland should see some sunshine during Tuesday. Could be a bit foggy to start with, and parts of the northeast, particularly close to the coast, may stay a little grey throughout. It may take a while for the mist and fog to clear, but it should be disappearing through the morning to reveal some sunny spells through central, western Scotland. Wales and southwest England, some breaks in the cloud likely here, but it's going to stay fairly grey, I suspect, over the Midlands and much of eastern England, and still at times just a bit of drizzle falling out of that thick cloud. Temperature-wise, well, about average for the time of year, maybe only 11 or 12 across parts of Scotland, but some sunshine does make a big difference to the feel of the day. Spot the difference for Wednesday. There's not a lot of it, maybe a few more showers coming in across the Northern Isles, still a bit of a breeze across Kent and Norfolk and Suffolk with the odd little bit of drizzly rain, but most places just dry and cloudy, and that is likely to continue for the rest of the working week. If anything, just turning a shade chillier.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good evening. This is the latest AI travel news from GBNews.com. The A47 southbound near the A503 junction faces restricted lane movement due to an ongoing incident. In Derbyshire, congestion is around the A38 southbound between the A50 and the A5132 junction. On the A38 northbound in Staffordshire between the A5121 Burton-upon-Trent South and the A5132 junction, drivers should anticipate 20-minute delays. And on the trains, South Western Railway faces major disruption to and from London Waterloo, with delays between Salisbury and Westbury. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Hello everybody, my name's Michelle Dewberry. This is Dewbs & Co. with you till 7. Layla Cunningham from Reform UK alongside me, as is Barry Gardner, of course, from the Labour Party. Speaking of the Labour Party, our Prime Minister Keir Starmer has just addressed us. Let's take a listen.
Really historic day, so we do need to start there, and real credit to President Trump and the other leaders who got us to this place. But you're absolutely right. The challenge now is tomorrow, an implementation, and therefore, yes, today is historic, but what happens tomorrow really matters. And that's why what I've been discussing with leaders all day is what part can we play? And we, the United Kingdom in particular, I think, can play a part in monitoring the ceasefire, but also decommissioning the capability of Hamas and their weaponry, drawing on our experience in Northern Ireland. So the question today has already moved to how do we implement, how do we make sure this moves forward? And it's really important that we keep that focus. We mustn't have any missteps now.
Okay. Prime Minister, senior Hamas official Dr. Bassem Naim said Blair's not welcome in any post-war role. He said Palestinians, Arabs and Muslims have bad memories of Tony Blair. Remember his role in causing millions of deaths, his words, in Iran, Afghanistan. You didn't put forward Tony Blair for the Peace Board. What's your view?
Well, I think the makeup of the Peace Board is still being discussed. For my part, I have to say, I'm much more interested in the practical steps
but
that
what's
are
your
needed.
view of Tony Blair sitting on the board?
Well, look, I mean, that's for others to decide. Tony Blair was a great leader of our country and would make a huge contribution. But I'm not focused on which particular people should sit on which particular board. I'm focused on what do we need to do tomorrow, and I mean tomorrow, to make sure this is implemented.
Would you put yourself forward or put someone else forward for the board?
Well, there's discussions going on about who should be on the board, but I can be clear with you, I haven't put myself forward for that role. But what I have put myself forward for, what I've put our country forward for, is to ensure that we keep doing what we're best at, which is working as we have done behind the scenes to help get this deal to where it is today, and drawing on our experience in relation to decommissioning, monitoring the ceasefire, which is essential next step.
We are out of time, but Trump has said that Hamas needs to disarm and disband, and yet one of their most senior leaders told Sky News in the last few days it won't, Hamas won't. What happens if they don't? Is that the critical thing to keeping this deal alive?
It is critical now that all parties follow through on the commitments. Decommissioning of weaponry of Hamas is hugely and critically important for the future peace. We have got experience in this in relation to Northern Ireland and the decommissioning of the IRA's weaponry, and that's why I do think, and why I've suggested the UK would be well placed to carry out that vital role.
And are you going to nominate President Trump for the Peace Prize like the Pakistan Prime Minister just did?
Well, look, there'll be plenty of people, I'm sure, nominating him. I think the nominations are into the early part of next year. But, I mean, what I do, in all seriousness, it is a historic day, and it is a real tribute to President Trump that he has got leaders to this position. This has been tried for many, many years, and stepping away from the personalities, this is a huge relief for hostages and their families, huge relief for civilians in Gaza, all of whom have been through unimaginable grief for 2 and a bit years now, and they are first and foremost in my mind, and that's what gives me the determination to follow through now and to take other leaders with us on this. That's the only thing I've been talking about today, not celebrating today as historic, which of course it is, but using the opportunity here with other leaders to say, how can we now, as a group of leaders, make sure that this is implemented in full, brings about the peace. We owe that to the Israelis and to the Palestinians, and I'm determined that the United Kingdom will play its full part.
I have to ask you quickly about the China case. Given the controversy, is it right that the CPS review the case, and do you still support Jonathan Powell? Is he exonerated in all of this?
Well, as I've said throughout, the relevant evidence was the evidence of what the Conservative government's policy was at the time of the alleged offences. That is what was relevant. That's always what has been relevant. I'm entirely satisfied that that was the evidence that put before the Crown Prosecution Service. As for Jonathan Powell, he's doing an excellent job. You heard what Steve Witkoff said about him today in relation to the role he's played behind the scenes. So, of course, I've got full confidence in him. And today, you know, shows the strength of the United Kingdom, working as we always do with the United States, playing our part in making sure that this important deal was arrived at today.
OK, Prime Minister, thank you so much for your time.
Well, there you go. That was our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, addressing what is simply called the Peace Summit, Peace 2025, on this hugely momentous day. Your reflections on what Keir was just saying?
I actually think he was right to focus on the hostages and the relief that it's brought to them. I think he was right to say that this is a momentous day and to praise President Trump for his part in bringing it all into being. And I think in particular he was right to talk about the demilitarisation of the police and the role that the UK could play. As a former Northern Ireland minister myself, I know how we could play a role in that.
These are live footage that I'm playing you right now. Of course, this is Donald Trump giving his powerful fist bump there as he boards Air Force One. He will be boarding that plane with a joy in his heart, I am sure. He will feel that there has been a job well done today. Lila Cunningham.
I don't actually agree with Keir Starmer. I think he does deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know why Keir Starmer couldn't say yes, he did. He did what decades of presidents and prime ministers failed to do under his watch. Arab states under the Abraham Accords and now chose partnership over hostility. That shift cannot be undermined. It is something that everyone thought, there was an orthodoxy and a general thought that that could not be achieved. He achieved what many, actually, peace in the Middle East didn't think. But you are right in that the disarming of Hamas, the next phase of the peace, will actually be the hardest. Removing Hamas is not only the beginning, though. It's also ensuring that it won't regenerate, that Gaza, and it can't become a vacuum filled by new extremists, because the Palestinian people require leadership that protects them and not uses them as a shield, but also one that recognises Israel's right to exist.
Well, there you go. Many of you will have very strong opinions on some of the things that you've been seeing and hearing today. But of course, as we've just been discussing, the key in so much of this is what the next steps will look like going forward. Of course, many people are already suggesting that Hamas has broken some of these conditions. But look, of course, hugely important day for the families of those hostages and the hostages themselves. And of course, people in Gaza, hopefully they will sleep better tonight than they have done for a very long time. Let's all hope that today marks the start of peace. For now, night-night.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Yes, it's time for your latest weather outlook from the Met Office here on GB News. Good evening to you. It's been a largely dry day. Some places started with a bit of drizzle, but the largely dry weather will continue for the next few days, as will the fairly cloudy skies, because this chunky area of high pressure is sitting right over us, and it means the weather's not really shifting too far. There's quite a lot of cloud trapped under that area of high pressure. Thick enough for some drizzle here and there to continue, particularly over the Midlands, parts of eastern England, but otherwise it's a dry night. West Wales, parts of Scotland, especially again in the west, should keep some clear skies. And where skies do stay clear for longest, well, temperatures will dip well down into single figures. And as well as that, could be some mist and fog around, forming where we've got those clear skies, at least initially, through parts of Scotland. Still the cloud thick enough for some drizzly showers over Lincolnshire, down across East Anglia and in towards Kent. As I said, further west, some breaks in the clouds, some sunny spells for West Wales. And a bit like today, much of Scotland should see some sunshine during Tuesday. Could be a bit foggy to start with, and parts of the northeast, particularly close to the coast, may stay a little grey throughout. It may take a while for the mist and fog to clear, but it should be disappearing through the morning to reveal some sunny spells through central, western Scotland. Wales and southwest England, some breaks in the cloud likely here, but it's going to stay fairly grey, I suspect, over the Midlands and much of eastern England, and still at times just a bit of drizzle falling out of that thick cloud. Temperature-wise, well, about average for the time of year, maybe only 11 or 12 across parts of Scotland, but some sunshine does make a big difference to the feel of the day. Spot the difference for Wednesday. There's not a lot of it, maybe a few more showers coming in across the Northern Isles, still a bit of a breeze across Kent and Norfolk and Suffolk with the odd little bit of drizzly rain, but most places just dry and cloudy, and that is likely to continue for the rest of the working week. If anything, just turning a shade chillier.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good evening. This is the latest AI travel news from GBNews.com. On the M4 westbound, traffic is congested between junctions 24 and 26 near Malpas. In Derbyshire, the A38 southbound between the A50 and A5132 junction is congested, with delays expected to improve tonight. Lane closures persist on the A303 westbound between junctions A3088 and A356 due to a vehicle fire, causing an additional 15 minutes delay. And on the trains, South Western Railway reports major disruption to and from London Waterloo, with further delays between Salisbury and Westbury on the Great Western Railway. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's just 3 weeks left to see how you could be our biggest winner this year. First, you could be driving away with this brand new Benamar Primera motorhome. This luxury vehicle comfortably sleeps 4, has its own fitted kitchen and bathroom areas, and comes complete with fitted awning and bicycle rack. And that's not all, as we'll also give you a whopping £30,000 in tax-free cash to spend however you like. For another chance to win, text